Hello, everyone. I'm your host of the Little Leagues podcast, Trevor, and we got our episode for the week, so let's get into it. CM Punk starts off Raw in a not-so-happy mood, and he talked about some things, like how he has no more Hell in a Cell matches left in him, but he's doing his match at Bad Blood anyway, even though his little sisters asked him not to do it. His wife, AJ, asked him not to do it, and even the little angel on his shoulder begged him not to do it. The reason he is doing it is because he told Drew if he pushes him far enough, he can become the devil himself. And now the devil is out. He also told Drew that he will make him bleed. And Drew's going to have to kill Punk because Punk is ready to die in that Hell in a Cell match. Then we had a match I don't really care about, just for the fact that Pete Dunne's in the match. But it was Butch vs. Sheamus. Sadly, Pete Dunne won, but it's only because he hit Sheamus with a cricket bat. Kathy Kelly was trying to interview Rhea Ripley, but Finn Balor interrupted before Kathy could even ask one question. Finn says Rhea and Damian is the reason why everything went wrong in the Judgment Day, and that Finn was the devil on Dom's shoulder telling him to go live and to forget about Rhea. Finn, I already didn't like you. You're making it worse. Then Jay went out to the ring and talked about he's going to be Intercontinental Champion next week, until Braun Breaker interrupted Jay. Braun notes Jay has been here for 14 years, and in 6 months, Braun has done more in his singles career than Jay has. And he did it without his family. And Jay took off his glasses, and you saw in his eyes Jay Uso from the Bloodline. And next week, Jay's going to dog walk Braun's butt. And next week, they throw hands. And Braun's title reign might be short and sweet, like his NFL career. And Braun hits Jay to the ground and went for a spear, but Jay intercepted with his own spear. And Braun crawled out from the stage, and Jay held up the Intercontinental Championship. So what I'm betting for next week is Braun is going to be in control for the start of the match. Then it's going to go to an ad break. And after the break, we're going to see Jay in control. But Braun's going to get the upper hand. And then he's going to go for a spear. But then, like he did this week, Jay's going to intercept it with a spear of his own. With his own. And then he's going to hit Braun with an Uso splash and get the 1, 2, 3. And if Jay does lose, then he better get a match at Bad Blood for that title again. I just need Jay with a title, please. Like, both Braun and Gunther, I don't care who. As long as Jay gets the title from one of them, I don't care. Preferably Gunther, because Gunther sucks. But Sammy's going after that title. We can have, oh my god, imagine Sammy and Jay, honorary Uso and Uso, with their titles. Then it was a World Tag Team title match between the New Day and the Judgment Day. So a little bit into the match, the entirety of the Judgment Day came out because at the start of the match it was just JD and Finn. But then the LWO, God, I suck at reading. Then the LWO came out to help the New Day. And Kofi jumped onto the J-Day and LWO. And Xavier Woods hit JD McDonough with the big elbow from the top rope. But the terrible ref is on the outside of the ring, and the match should have been over. New Day should have won gold. Then JD tagged Finn, and JD had Woods in a hold, and Finn hit Woods with a coup de grace. I don't know if I said that right. And the Judgment Day won. Then Xavier and Kofi started arguing because if Kofi didn't jump, they would have been the champions. There's like a cut on my finger, and I don't know why. Then backstage, Xavier was yelling at the LWO, asking why they were out there, and they cost them the titles. And Kofi said he asked them to help in the scenario that the Judgment Day came out. And it did happen, so. And Kofi said we need help because we don't have E, and it's just him and Xavier. And Xavier is upset with Kofi, especially since he just said that since we don't have E, it's just me and you, and now we need help. So it's like Xavier isn't enough for Kofi. Then we had an amazing match, or more of a brawl, between Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. A lot of bronze here. The match started with Reed pulling the top rope out, and Actually, the match didn't even start. It never started. And then Reed threw a fan at Strowman. And Reed and Strowman went straight through the barricades at the timekeeper's area. Then Bronson Reed left the arena, and Strowman ran straight to Reed and knocked him through some sort of encasement thing. And Strowman was throwing Reed and security and flipped a whole golf cart. Reed even hit Strowman with a tsunami through a table. But then Strowman got up and ran Reed straight through a wall, and that was it. They were both laying on the floor. Then Sami Zayn came out, and Sami yet again talked about the World Heavyweight Championship and how he needs it. But unfortunately, the current champion, Gunther, has said no every time to Sami, because Sami is quote-unquote not on his level. But Sami thinks he's in Gunther's head, and Sami has beat him before, and he can beat him again. Sami also said he thinks... Sami also said he thinks Sami is scared. No. Sami also said he thinks Gunther is scared. But then Ludwig Kaiser came out and talked some smack to Sami. And Sami said that he thinks Ludwig wants to prove himself and that he doesn't need Gunther. But then Gunther came out and asked Ludwig if there was anything he needs to tell him. And Ludwig has something to get off his chest for a very long time. Ludwig has had something that he needed to get off his chest for a very long time. And then he attacked Sami. That's what he needed to get off his chest, apparently. And yet again, Gunther declined Sami's challenge. Gunther declines Sami's challenge. No, Gunther declines Sami's challenge. But Sami fights back and gets Ludwig Kaiser down. So hopefully we see that at Bad Blood. Then it's Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. I didn't really watch this match. I cared more about the outcome and less about the contents. But Io Sky won, which was surprising to me. Then we had a crazy main event. Dominic Mysterio versus Damian Priest. I obviously predicted Damian winning. Damian is stronger, bigger, and just better than Dominic overall. And during the match, Damian made the entire Judgment Day fall to the ground. And Damian won with a South of Heaven. And not even 1 second after the match ended, Judgment Day beat up Damian. But then, Rhea started to fight. But then, I'm saying but then a lot, huh? Then, Liv attacked Rhea. But, you're never going to guess this. Jay came out, but he took a little too long because he got speared by Braun Breaker. And geez, Braun flew like 5 feet before he hit Jay. And the Terror Twins only got worse. And I would just like to say now, the confirmed matches for Bad Blood are Damian Priest versus Finn Balor, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. And it's cool because this is a rivalry match, but it's also for the women's title. And, of course, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell. And the big one, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. I do not approve of this tag team. In a tag team match against Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. It should be more like Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the title. Really. They're probably going to save that for next year's WrestleMania. Which makes sense, I guess. Now for SmackDown. Wow, we start off the show with the Bloodline coming in, and Jacob Fatu just destroyed the security for no reason. But to actually start the show is a big match. Andrade versus LA Knight. Yeah! I'm a big LA Knight fan, and my phone's too far. I'm a big LA Knight fan, if you know me, so I'm rooting for him, always. I bet on LA for this match, definitely not biased or anything. I also just don't think we're going to take away his title that fast, the way they're going to take away Braun's that fast. This match was absolutely crazy, though. Many kickouts, and many crazy moves were all done. And we all thought the match was going to end. But in the end, LA Knight retained. Yeah! He hit Andrade with a BLT, and it was over. After the match, Andrade shook Knight's hand and held it up. LA also looked confused, which was kind of funny. Then next, it was Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. They came face-to-face, meeting together at Georgia Tech. But before that, we saw Andrade backstage where Melo came out and said to put the fries in the bag. Andrade retaliated and beat Melo up. Then we actually saw Roman and Cody. Here's what happened. Roman claims the Georgia Tech field is his field, in his arena, in his city. And what has Cody done for his city? Cody responded with 7 cars, which I'm confused about, State Farm Arena, and his family has bled for this city and in this city. It's Roman's field, but it's Cody's home. Cody has everything to lose. Roman has nothing to lose. After Cody says a lot of stuff, he says, "Who is standing here?" The guy they used to call Roman Reigns. Then Roman asks what Cody wants. Cody wants Roman's word that he will have his back, so he will have Roman's. Roman gives him his word, but after this is done, Roman is going to take back what's his. Cody says, "It's not yours to take," and Roman says, "You're in my way. You're in my way in life." Kevin Owens was also watching the video, and Byron asks about his thoughts on it, and KO scoffs and walks away. Then we had part 2 of Giovanni Vinci and Apollo Crews. Guess what? The match didn't end in 3 seconds. I have no bias between these two guys, but I think Crews is going to win again. And he did. So instead of 3 seconds, we got 3 minutes. But after the match, Vinci attacks Crews because how embarrassed he is. And let's see how it ends. Okay, Apollo just laid on the mat. Never mind. And we see Kevin again. Please talk, Kevin. Please. He isn't. But he is in the ring, so while Kevin was talking, the Bloodline, except Solo, interfered. And Tama Tonga, for the first time, spoke into a microphone. Kevin Owens said, "No one wants to hear you talk, ever." And then Kevin started fighting them. Then DIY came out to help, and now the main event is a 6-man tag team match with Kevin Owens and DIY against the Bloodline. Then we had a tornado tag team match. I have no idea what a tornado tag team match is. Between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton versus Bayley and Naomi. I think Tiffany is out, and then at Bad Blood she cashes in, but I'm not sure if she would win. Nia even said maybe Tiffany should leave SmackDown, and the results were, I think I figured out what a tornado tag match is. It's when everyone is in at once, no tags, so it's more just a 2v2. Naomi and Bayley won, but Nia got pinned, so if she is supposed to leave SmackDown, what about her title? But we also don't know who pinned her, but I think it's Bayley because Naomi's legs were under the ropes. But we figured out who won. No one. They both pinned Nia, so next week they're going to have a 1v1, Naomi and Bayley. And then a match next week, part 6, Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes. If they have part 7, I'm never watching SmackDown again. Then our main event, Kevin Owens and DIY versus the Bloodline. But as DIY was coming out to the ring, Bloodline attacked them, and then Kevin went straight for the Bloodline. Then the Street Profits came out to help. Of course. Guys, can we just get some new people, please? Or just returning people? Please, please, please. And it is official, the Street Profits are subbing in for DIY. Which is sad for me, because I want to see DIY fight again. This match was very cool, though. At one point, KO was a one-man army against the Bloodline and almost won the match. KO even hit a stunner, but Tonga Loa dragged Kevin out the ring and threw him into his steps, and the match ended. But it didn't matter, they kept fighting. Then DIY came out to help, but it didn't matter. They were already hurt and failed at helping. But no matter what, Kevin kept fighting, and the Bloodline kept hitting him. Then finally, Cody came out with a metal chair, and the Bloodline retreated. But Kevin grabbed the metal chair that was on the floor and was about to hit Cody, but tossed the chair. And Cody went in for a handshake, and KO accepted it. And they hugged each other. But right when the show ended, it looked like Kevin hit Cody with the chair. But the show ended, so I don't know. And now it's time for NXT, my second favorite show. I think NXT is better than SmackDown. Okay, so we're going to start the show with the contract signings between Ethan Page and Trick Williams. Well, they're supposed to sign the contract, but Ethan Page just had to send Trick through a table for Razor's Edge. Ego's Edge. Then we see, oh my god, my phone. Why does my voice sound weird, okay? Then we see backstage last week, Hammerstone and Tony D talking about Hammerstone's loss. And Tony oh my god, I need to learn how to say challenges. Tony challenges Hammerstone to a one-on-one match. and we get that match next. Then we go to Ava and her little crew, and Javon asks if he can get a match at St. Louis. So now we have Hammerstone, his second time on NXT, and Tony D'Angelo. I thought Tony was going to win, and I was wrong. After Hammerstone hit Tony for a big belly-to-belly, Tony rolls out of the ring, and the ref counts to 10. Hammerstone won, but why did Tony make this choice? It makes no sense. Tony never backs down from a challenge. But don't fear, we find out later. But then, Zachary Wentz came out of nowhere to explain why him and Trey didn't fight for the NXT Tag Team titles last week. It was because while Trey was getting in his car, Wes attacked him brutally, and Trey is going to be out for a while, again. So Zach tells Wes that he deserves everything that's going to happen to him at Chicago, and the pain he puts Wes Lee through is going to be 10 times worse than the embarrassment Wes went through after losing to Zach at No Mercy. Then we go to Ava's office and see Tyrese Halliburton telling Ava he will make sure a contract gets signed tonight. Burp time. Then we get the best part of the night, and to all the people that watch for Raw, stay for this. It's the best in the world, CM Punk. This was awesome. I had a CM Punk sign, and my dad had a DM Hunk sign. So, what is Punk's announcement? Well, first he talks about his gratitude towards NXT, since while he was injured, he was behind the camera watching NXT live at the Performance Center. I would like to say CM Punk has the best Shawn Michaels impression. But Roxanne interrupts Punk's segment and says how much she loves CM Punk, but she should have been a Drew McIntyre fan the entire time. Man, I really thought she was going to say something smart for once, but I guess not. Roxanne said she is big all around the world, but no matter what, she is still short. Doesn't matter where she goes. Then Punk says he didn't come out to talk about Julia and not to talk about Roxanne, but we didn't talk about Julia, and it seems to annoy a certain somebody. Then Julia comes out and tells Roxanne the countdown is on. You have 2 weeks left. As Julia is exiting the ring, Roxanne tried to attack her, and Punk blocks her from doing so. And that's the end of Punk's segment. I can't believe Roxanne ruined it. Then we see Kalani Jordan talking about fatal influence, but then Ren comes out and slaps Kalani and runs away. She did this so Kalani would give her a match would give her a North American Championship match. It probably won't work. Then we go backstage to see the D'Angelo family, and Tony says he isn't injured and admits he is afraid and doesn't want to fight Hammerstone or Oba. Tony isn't supposed to be scared of anything, but something is different with this guy, which I don't know who's referring to. It's probably Oba, though. And they are a machine and not human, and Tony can't beat him. Then we see Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander versus No Quarter Catch Crew. And even after all the training Datavion Heights did in Japan, or wherever he was, him and Miles lost the match, and Javon pinned Miles. Then we see an announcement about who Javon will fight in St. Louis. It's the Viper, Randy Orton. And I would like to say, Javon is going to get destroyed. He's a stick. Then it's Lola Vice versus JC Jane. Yeah, Lola won. What else can I say? Oh yeah, Fatal Influence attacked Lola after a match, and Jada Parker came out to attack Fatal Influence. Then Jada and Lola started yelling at each other. Like they always do on the show. Gosh! Then we go backstage to Tony and Miss Strong Accent. Sorry, I don't know her name. But she encourages Tony to fight Obafemi again. Then we see Tyrese Halliburton walking down the infamous hallway. Then he comes out to the ring. So Trick and Ethan come out again. And Ethan and Trick talk some smack, as they do, and they actually signed the contract this time. And that's it. There you have it, NXT. I know some parts weren't included in here. It's because I rewatched the episode. Oh my god, my phone. It's because I rewatched the episodes on Hulu to write the scripts. Sorry. But I'll see you next week. But I will see you in the next episode. Good. Wait, one more thing. CM Punk is back. Yeah! He isn't finished at NXT just yet. CM Punk's big announcement is he'll be the special guest referee for Ethan and Trick's match on October 1st on the CW network. And since he is the official, he let Trick and Ethan start fighting. I would just like to say, I kind of wanted Joe Hendry to be the ref, like how Trick was the ref for Joe. But I know Punk isn't going to care at all and let them do anything they want. But before I end the podcast, I would just like to say CM Punk is 100% the best in the world. He literally went around the entire arena multiple times, signing posters and taking pictures with everyone. He even took pictures with me and signed my poster. Check out my TikTok to see it, at Teo's Gallery or at Teo Does Things. Now you know. But that's been this episode. See you next week. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to support the podcast more than anyone else, send a super thanks by going down below and clicking the little thanks button with a heart, or joining the channel and becoming a channel member with exclusive perks only members have. You can do that from the link I have in the description. And remember, episodes are every Saturday or at a later day because there is a PLE or I'm busy. But it will usually be every Saturday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. See you next week. Goodbye.